A video for Bill, old 64 goat. Good afternoon, YouTube. This Thursday now, I believe, about 3:37 looks like in the afternoon. This video is primarily for Bill, or I guess it would apply to anybody that's having problems like this. Bill, if you look at the screen, you can see, I think you can see, this is the part of the schematic for the Gonset G-66B. I believe that's what you have, from what I can tell. You know, you expressed the fact that your capacitor checkers didn't have enough oomph, I guess it would be, to amps, whatever you want to call it, to power this unit. Now, you know what I would suggest. Now, here's the figures for it: 220 volts DC at 0.09 amps. Now, that's 90 milliamps. I'm not sure where you came up with 120, but anyway, that's a 6 volt or 12 volts. You get the same reading on both of them. But anyway, regardless, it doesn't matter. Your capacitor checker is not going to put out that much amperage. I understand that, but it is capable of the 220 volts, I believe. So what I'm proposing is divide and conquer. It's a simple way of fixing anything. If you don't have enough power to power the whole radio, remove all the tubes except for these two here, the 6AQ5 and the 6AW8. Now, you don't even have to have both of them, probably. But at least, you know, go ahead and leave those in. You should have enough power to give you some current for those. And if the other ones are out, then you won't have any current draw by them. So, get your audio working. You know, that's pretty simple. You know, put your audio signal in here at C29, and that feeds the headphone jack. So, you know, that's before your audio output. I know this is kind of backwards for most schematics, but I think you can follow along with it. But your 6AQ5 is your audio output. Here's your audio output transformer. The black and green wires are the speaker wires. Now, those that's kind of on a mobile thing, car radio, things like that. Black and green were used a lot for speaker wires. So, and you can trace it on out. It does come down here to where it says voice coil right here. It's pin 7 and pin 3. So, like I said, that's all you need to get your what do you call it, working, your audio. Audio, I always start with the audio, because if I have a radio like something like this where you're having problems getting the whole thing to work, because audio is the easiest to get working 9 times out of 10. You know, you feed in a signal. It can be any kind of audio signal, like I say right here, and you should hear some output coming out of the speaker. You got to have a speaker hooked up. It's a 3.2 ohm or 4 ohm. It says, you know, take either variant there. Like I said, that's what I would do. Once you get this established, that you can get the audio working, then you can move on to the next stage and remove the tubes from the audio and just put the tubes in for the stage you are working on. Now, that would be probably your IF, if I had to guess. And like I said, you're going to have a little bit more, or you could even do the detector if you wanted to by itself, but I would go ahead and do the IF if you have enough to do, say, those 3 tubes there or whatever. And you know, just go with that. And instead of audio, obviously, you have to feed an IF signal into this area and see what you get out here. Then I would use an external audio amp, signal tracer, whatever you want to call it, and put your you could put it in the same spot, right? Really, because it's going to come from there. I mean, you can put it right here, whatever you want to do. This BFO audio, like I said, is going to come into there. But like I said, that's what I would do. I think it actually comes in on this side from the detector. But anyway, get that working. Once you get that working, you're just about all the way there. I mean, the rest of it is the RF section mixer. I mean, those are, and you could do the same thing with it. Divide and conquer. That's all you got to do. Like I said, that what I'm getting at or trying to get at is it worth it for you to build a power supply for this? You'll never know until you get the radio working. And if you don't have a power supply, you can't hardly get the radio working. I know it's catch-22, but like I said, there are ways of doing it, and this is one of them. Like I said, your capacitor checker should have enough oomph to drive 1 or 2 or 3 tubes, I would think. If the whole draw for the radio is only 90 milliamps, then you're only going to have to maybe have a third of that, 30 milliamps. So it's just a way of getting where you want to go, Bill. That's about all I can tell you. The like I said, this converter and all this stuff up here goes to there's your first IF here, but I think that's on the other one too. I haven't actually put this together like you did. I think you put yours together, and I haven't done that, so I think that's what you're looking at there. But anyway, regardless, that's the point I'm trying to make is just like I said, divide and conquer. Get your audio working first. That's the easiest one. Make sure it works. It may work just fine. You never can tell. You can use the finger test, whatever you want to use to inject some audio into this stage and see if you hear something on the speaker. That's all you got to do. Now, like I said, that's going to be full volume, I believe. I don't know how the volume is controlled on this. I haven't really looked. Oh, here it is down here. Okay, here's your volume control down here. That's on the radio, so you should be able to control that. So anyway, that's my idea. Like I said, you'll have to rig a power switch in, things like that. And obviously, it looks like to me this worked on 12 volts or 6 volts, but so anyway, that's the way I see it happening. Like I say, that's my thought on it. And if you have an idea, a different idea, I'll be happy to hear about that. But like I say, I'm just trying to help, on your quest to get this radio working. It's an interesting radio, that I think anyway. And like I said, it would be well worth your time, I think, to see if you can do it this way. But again, like I say, once you've established the audio is working, the IF is working, and you can even go as far as to do the mixer and stuff like that, IF, and then it's worth it, or should be worth it to build a power supply. I was looking on eBay. I'm not like you saying YouTube, but eBay for power transformers, they're out there. You've got to look pretty good. You can get them probably for less than $30. I'm guessing, shipped even. So you probably something running around 190 volts AC would be fine. 190, 200, because that should give you well over 220 in DC. And so, like I said, you just have to go that route and see. But anyway, like I say, I told you earlier, I'm a little under the weather today, so I didn't really feel like making a full-blown video. And I thought, well, I'm sitting here doing this, I can do this. So I'm doing this. I do have, I think I mentioned this already, but I do have the boards from Bob. They came in the mail yesterday, and I'm in the process of making the boards fit the case. Once that is done, I will be mailing out the 4 beta test units to the beta testers. I have been in contact with them, and we are getting this working. Now, while I was doing this, I was also trying to get a point across to Bob about some changes that need to be made on the final versions, and I think he understands everything I was trying to get across to him. And so once that is done, these will work the way they are. It will work fine. I think the changes I'm trying to make is getting the components that are going through the case a little closer to the case, or a little further from the case as needed, to make the installation just a little bit easier. As it is right now, I'm having to shave a couple of items, and there'll be a couple of items that you can't get nuts on because they don't stick out far enough, things like that. But once that is done, then everything will be fine. For the beta testers, those I have explained those shortcomings to them, and so they're not expecting those things to match exactly, but it's a way of getting the the information out there as far as how hard is it to build, and they can come back with the information we need for that. So that's what's going on there. I'm hoping maybe if I feel like it later, I may try to get the rest of the test units ready to be shipped and get that done. So, all right, you guys have a wonderful day. I'm sitting here waiting on the Xfinity starter package, whatever you call it, the modem, the router, Wi-Fi router. It's supposed to be delivered by UPS today. Of course, every time I have to wait on UPS, it's always the latest part of the day. Any other day, I can see him go by 15 times before this time. It's just usually around noon I'll see him going by and things like that. But anytime I have to wait on it, it's always late. So it's like I say, it's going on 4 o'clock. So I'm hoping he'll get here before long. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you.